Hello, welcome to Big Banks and Burning, brought to you by Miss Kathy's Tarot Readings, where we give you the best hand jobs. I'm Big Banks Barfield.
And I'm Jeffro Lappin here again.
Well, we had a great week 2 in the league. Some ups, some downs, some really low downs, Wesley. Some people staying the same in the shitter, Cody. Some elevating their game, Justin Woods.
It's definitely a very exciting week.
It was. Well, we'll start this off by recapping last week. One of the first games was $5 footlong, and Cody Burton against the Green Bowl Packers, and finally the creative J.P. Headley. J.P. Headley's new name brought him 115 points, where Cody only put up 92.
I just want to give an additional shout out to J.P. Very creative and funny name. It's amazing that he didn't even know the Packers were a real team until people were complimenting him on his team. Way to go, J.P.
Oh, Lord. Well, our next game was the Professional Chicken Chokers. Morgan Licey changed his team name. Maybe it'll help him out. It did here. He beat the Wizard of Wine Country, Brandon Corbett, 137.1 to 79.9.
Tell you what, it didn't help Brando change his name, but still, way to follow the show, Brando. Wizard of Wine Country.
I think he caught on to us seeing his magic and had to lay off. Maybe he's just downplaying.
We'll see. We'll see. Time will tell.
And the next matchup was a Honky Tonk Badonka Gronk Jake Bulmer against the Annexation of Puerto Rico, Chip Bowen. Chip showed out this week, scored 120 points against Jake's 94. I guess this long-distance relationship with Atlanta isn't helping Jake out, is it?
It's not, and I'm going to, definitely compliment old Chip there. He had a really close loss last week, and he definitely came back shooting out of the off the cannon.
Right. All right. Our next matchup was Ray Finkel's Winkle lost to still the nameless Team Koffler, 127 to 68.
I don't know. I've had many talks with Team Koffler, and he's explained team name, which I think we'll address that later on the Twitter board. But at this rate, he doesn't even need a team name. I mean, he's getting the job done. He scored almost twice as many points as Lee Thompson's Ray Finkel's Winkle. So let's see how that plays off in the future.
I don't know. I've been talking to the commission. He thinks next year there might be a fine for this team name. Who's running this league? Roger Goodell?
Or the replacement refs.
All right, coming into our last two matchups, we're going to highlight them. One of the most disappointing performances of the week is in our first matchup. We had the One Pump Chumps and Justin beating is understatement, the Naked Streetwalkers and Wesley Roundtree. Wesley only scored 60 points to Justin's 136.
Again, very surprised because last year Wesley did a very good job getting his offense running, and I thought we addressed this last week. 60.8 points. You almost wonder if he's not playing certain positions. I mean, some teams came out and their running back and quarterback scored 60 points. So he definitely needs to address this in the future because you're not going to win any games. It's going to be a long season.
I think the commission might have to drive out to Savannah and make sure he gets that $20 because it's looking like Wesley's going to lose it. And then in our matchup of the night, which was a close one, was the Beer the Beard, Chad Culpepper beat Sandusky Sawhorses and Sean Early 109.3 to 107.2 in a very, very close matchup.
I'll tell you what, I'm very surprised at how close this was because I looked and right before the game started, I noticed that Sandusky Sodomizers changed in C.J. Spiller, and that's got to be one of the plays of the week right there, and it still ended up being this close. Very surprised, but good game on both teams.
Excellent. Well, actually, the Wizard himself, Brandon Corbett, led us a hand today, and he is interviewing Chad Culpepper himself. Let's go down there. Go ahead, Brando.
Thanks, Big Banks. This is Brando Corbett, the Wizard himself. I'm here with Fear the Beard's team owner and coach, Chad Culpepper. How you doing, Chad?
Doing all right.
So let's start off by just reviewing the matches last week.
Well, it was a good matchup, but I didn't think I was going to win. I don't know. Kelly was in there getting laid. Jack's getting laid. Everybody's getting laid. I'm not getting laid. Chloe can't hook me up with nobody. Who cares about the matchup? Cool, I won. I just want to get laid.
I'm Brandon Corbett. I know how you feel.
That's supposed to be funny?
No, Chad. Sorry. All right. It could be worse. Could have a Mexican roommate run out on you.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. How's Paul doing these days? I ain't seen him in a minute.
I don't know. He doesn't pay me the rent anymore. He says he does things to pay me off. I think Sunday during a Macklin Cup touchdown, it's kind of hurting me. So I took about $100 off his rent for him to shank Macklin in the side and have him out the second half.
Okay. Well, facial hair's looking good, but how would you describe this upcoming week matchup? Oh wait, you're playing me.
Not really scared. I think you're a pussy of a wizard. I don't know what the hell you're wearing.
Just roll up my sleeves.
With
Pull out some magic tricks on your ass this week.
steal that beard from a 12-year-old kid's pubes.
No, it was fashionable back with Moses and Jesus, so I'd appreciate it if you lay off.
I'm getting out of here. I'm trying to get laid.
Alright, back to you at the studio, Big Banks.
All right, thank you for that.
That was good.
Good luck this week, guys. All right, and in our next segment of the show, we are going to go to my favorite part, the tweets about our twatters. What you got this week, Jeffro?
Alright, on the Twitter board, I got Kelly King Early, 69. When the hell is Coach Koffler going to come up with a name? That unoriginal douche. Ironically enough, Coach Koffler chimed right back in. Coach Koffler 40 says, "Tell you what, you UCLA loving bitch. I'm sending a challenge to everyone in the league. If you beat my team, you can name my team until I win the next 2 in a row." So that's a challenge right there off Coach Koffler. If you beat his team, you can name it. Which, with the way he's going through teams right now, he is on top of the league. So.
Was he talking about his fantasy football team or Auburn? Because everybody's beating them now.
Only time will tell. Yeah.
In our next segment, we're going to take a quick look at the standings in the league after 2 weeks. In the red division, we got Fear the Beard in first place, only undefeated team in the red division, followed up by Pretzel Chicken Chokers, Sandusky Sodomizers, the Green Bowl Packers, and the Wizard of Wine Country, all tied at 1-1. And coming in last place, not a surprise, Far Dog Foot Long. I don't know if we'll get a win this season.
Coach Burton, come on. You know, looking over at the Buff League, you got the team Koffler, which we just addressed, who is looking amazing. He's putting points on the board, and I don't know if he's getting in the minds of his opponent, but they're not putting points on the board. But we have him undefeated at 2-0. Then we have Annexation of Puerto Rico, the One Pump Chumps, Honky Tonk Badonky Gronk, and Ray Finkel's Winkles all sitting at 1-1. And then Wesley out of Savannah, 0-2. You and Mr. Burton need to get together and have a meeting and figure some shit out. But I'll tell you right now, I'm very, very surprised at how we're going into week 3 and there's only 2 undefeated teams. This is either, a really good thing or everybody's having a great week and then a shit week. So I'm very interested to see how this develops in the future.
Definitely. I think we had a lot of even drafting across the board. This week, a lot of quarterbacks didn't have good weeks. That might have been a factor. But it's going to be an exciting one. Playoff picture is going to be kind of tight. Hopefully Cody and Wesley get back in it, 2 defending champions. In our next portion of the show, we will be looking at the champs and the chumps of this week. Jeffro, what we got here?
We're going to take a minute to look at some of the players on people's teams that hopefully they benched. Start out with this week's chumps. Quarterback, Jay Cutler, 126 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. I wonder if he knows which team he was playing for. Moving on, we have at wide receiver, Andre Johnson, only 21 yards this week. We got him as our chump just because last week he looked pretty good. This week, not so much. Might need to get together with Matt Shaw and figure out some chemistry. Last, we have Chris Johnson. If you've been watching the Titans, we all know why he's the chump. He should have been the chump last week too, but if you got him, I'd keep him on the bench for a while.
2 out of those 3 guys were picked in the first round. It's a little tough. Now we're going to go to our champs of the week. First off, we got Elon Manning. 510 yards, 3 TDs, 3 interceptions, still put up 30 points. But guess what? Didn't really help Cody much, did he? Next is wide receiver Dwayne Bowe for the Professional Chicken Chokers. He got 102 yards and 2 TDs. Really put out last week. Great person to have in the flex position there, Morgan.
Agreed.
And last was Trent Richardson, 109 yards, rushing TD, 36 receiving yards, and 1 rushing touchdown. He was a factor in Chad taking down the Sandusky Sodomizers.
Definitely, I agree. Good play putting him in.
All right, now last portion of the show, we will be looking at the matchups upcoming in Week 3. Got a lot of good ones here. Let's start off with the Sandusky Sodomizers against the Greenbowl Packers.
You know, these are, probably, and I'm saying this a couple times, but 2 1-1 teams that, you know, I'm waiting to see what develops out of these. Got surprisingly, hate to say it, but I'm, you know, surprised JP has that 1 win. But again, we'll have to see. You know, we got the projections are sitting at Sandusky Sodomizers at 118 and JP's team at 132. So we'll see if it's that close. I know Sean's moving around a lot of things on his team and dressing them. So again, let's watch the trade box.
I just think JP needs to watch his ass when he's bending over to take that hit. Sandusky might creep up behind him.
There'll be,
you know what I mean?
there'll be some Brown Bowl Packers.
All right. And in our next matchup of the night, we are going to have the professional chicken chokers against the $5 footlongs here. Now, Burton's getting 25 points here. He's not looking good. Is this going to be 3 more weeks in a row where he's not even going to score 100 points? This is ridiculous.
You look at Cody versus Morgan, and right off the bat, I would think Cody had a little more football knowledge. You know, he played quarterback in high school, and we all know that. And I'm very impressed with Morgan, you know, taking the lead right here, and Cody just not having any wins this season. So this is going to be a game to watch.
And in our third matchup, we're going to have Team Koffler against One Pump Chumps. I guess we're all rooting for Justin here. I'd like to see a funny name. But what do you think about this one, Malcolm?
I'm going to have to go with Coach Koffler. I mean, he's projected to win. Yeah, I haven't seen any flaws. His receiving core is phenomenal, and I only think that Aaron Rodgers can get better. I mean, Coach Koffler scored almost 140 points last year. Last game with only 15 from Aaron Rodgers. He's only going to get better. So I'm definitely projecting a 3-0 for Coach Koffler.
That would be a good one. One Pump Chumps scored a lot of points last week. All right, and in our next matchup, we are going to have the Ray Finkel's Winkle versus Honky Tonk Badunka Gronk, and Lee here is actually favored by 9.5 points above Jake. You know, I think Lee's 1 year in the league. I think he learned a lot, making some mistakes for the draft last year, but like I said, he had an excellent draft this year. He's 1-1. I think he's going to take down Bowman State.
I mean, I agree with you. I find it funny that they're projecting him at almost twice as many points that he scored last week. But again, with his team, I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to fall to victory with this one.
All right, and in our second last matchup, we're going to have the Naked Streetwalkers against the Annexation of Puerto Rico. Is this an automatic win for Team Bowman, or is Wesley going to pull something out of his ass and get his team going?
I think Wes is going to come out with a victory, but it's not going to be an easy one. I think Chip has done a great job at every matchup he's had so far has been a close one. So, Wesley, if you're going to win, you're in for a battle.
And in our highlight matchup of the week, we're going to have the Wizard of Wine Country, Brandon Corbett, Magician,
Oracle, some say.
Oracle, Golem? I don't know. He's doing a lot of things. Against Fear the Beard, Chad Culpepper, Mean Man. How do you think this will go down?
You know, Brando, this is just a rumor, but I heard he's been going to a lot of, premieres because he's got the new movie coming out in December, The Hobbit, which I heard he guest stars in. But, he's been focusing pretty good, and Chad's just a force to be reckoned with. That beard is scary. We've talked about this many times, but let's see what kind of little tricks Brando has up his sleeve for this week's matchup. Who do you got this week on this one?
I'm going to have to go with Fear the Beard. Somehow, the last 2 weeks, he's been down going into Monday and pulling something out. Or I don't know. He looks more like a wizard than Brando does.
Let's see who has the deeper sleeves.
All right. Well, that's enough until next week. I'm Big Bank Barfield, and you can take that to the bank.
And I'm Jeffro Lapham, and I'm always right.
This episode brought to you by Fat James. Please don't cut me.
That was good.
Y'all motherfuckers be G. Y'all do that every week?
Yeah.